What's going on, America? This is Kevin from Kevin's Corner. And you know what doesn't make sense to me? Why James Comey was the FBI director in the first place. I mean, he has to be the dumbest man on the planet. Maybe he should have gotten into a business that maybe fits him a little bit better. Perhaps used car salesman, comedian, actor, things like that. Or just straight politician that just as bad as the old used car salesman, For this man to get on TV the other day and to lightheartedly express the fact that he sent the FBI into the White House to take advantage of the chaos that he claimed was going on in the beginning. I mean, just broke all protocol to get Mike Flynn and set him up. I mean, just basically confessed right on TV, hey, everybody, guess what we did? And we got away with it. It was hilarious. He said that he sent the FBI in when, as normally, when you go in to talk to or question a high cabinet executive, you got to go through red tape. You got to call up some people. You got to let them know what you want to talk about. Maybe have a White House lawyer there, something like that. But see, Comey said, well, let's take advantage of the situation, which means to me there was a motive. But see, what kills me is that you said this on TV right after a judge says, I want to see the paperwork based off of the initial interview with Michael Flynn. Because see, what it sounds like to me, that they took advantage of this man. They used Michael Flynn, who pretty much risked his life for his country all these years, dedicated his life to the country. And they say, you know what you are to us, Michael Flynn? A means to an end. All you are is a chess piece that we're willing to sacrifice to get to Donald Trump. So I'm sorry for all of your trouble, for all of the sacrifice you made, but you're going to have to take one for the team. So instead of coming over there and saying, hey, look, you're under investigation. We're going to be asking you some questions. You probably want to get a lawyer or something like that. What do? Call him up and say, you know what? We just want to come over and have a fireside chat. That's all. And the day before they did it to lower his suspicions, they released something in the news saying that he's not in trouble. So now he's like, oh, cool. So I guess all of this hubbub ain't got nothing to do with me. So then they call him up and they say, hey, look, Mikey, baby, we just want to come over and you're about to be the man. We just want to talk to you about maybe some ideas, just chew the fat with you, shake hands, stuff like that. Get to know you, let you know who we are and so on and so forth. All the time, they have a motive to entrap this man, to ask him some questions that could possibly damage the president or damage him. So they go over there and they're chit-chatting with him, and they basically told him, you don't even need a lawyer. I'm sure when they called him up and said, we're coming to talk to you, he might have been like, well, do I need a lawyer? No. Why would you need a lawyer, Mike? Look, you could. I mean, if you want to do all that, you want to go through all them troubles, fine. But I'm just saying, we just coming over to have a talk, baby. That's all we're doing. So if you are in that position and you know that you're going to have impact on everything that pretty much goes on, and you'll probably have at least some type of input when it comes down to national security and FBI and so on and so forth, you're probably thinking, oh, what's the problem here? Just a couple of the guys coming over to chew the fat with me. And they come over and they're asking him questions. And I bet you they were casual, just, talking, trying to pick his head, pick his brain. And he has no idea that the whole time they're taking mental notes. They're saying, okay, we're basically interviewing you, but we ain't going to tell you that. We're just going to say it's just a little chit chat. That's all. And they walk out of there and say, well, we don't think he was lying. I mean, everything looked good to me. And then 7 months later, Robert Mueller pulls up some bogus charges of him perjuring himself. And he didn't even know I was being investigated. And y'all was like questioning me. I would have had a lawyer perhaps, but y'all told me I didn't need a lawyer. So now all of a sudden, based off of this little fireside chat, you're going to say, well, he didn't tell us about A, B, and C or whatever, and we're going to hold you accountable, and we're going to say that you committed perjury. Whereas, one, if we'd have told you that we were interviewing you, you probably would have had a lawyer. Two, if we were interviewing you, we should have told you that if you're going to be talking to us, we just want to let you know anything you say can be, held. You could be held liable in court, and lying to the FBI is a federal offense. But they didn't say any of those things because they didn't want his eyebrows to go up. They didn't want the feathers to rise up. They didn't want the hair on the back of his neck to stand up. They wanted him relaxed for a reason. Yeah, it's called the perjury trap. Make you think you're just having friendly conversation, ask you a couple questions. In your mind, you're probably thinking, what's it to you? It's not your business who I talk to or who I don't. If we just having a fireside chat, so I ain't got to just tell you everything. Nah, man, you know what I mean? I don't mess with no Russians. Nah. Anyway, then later on, you know what? We were bugging your phone and you didn't even know it. And we found out that you did talk to a Russian. And by the way, we did leak your name too to the press so that it would cause all this suspicion about Russia collusion, and you just happen to be used for our bigger agenda. And this is how we repay you for all the years of service and dedication and so on and so forth. And then you have dumb Comey, after the judge just asked to see the paperwork on that initial interview, Comey gets on TV and he throws it out there like it's a joke. Yeah, you know, I mean, we sent a couple guys in there and we figured, hey, why not take advantage of all the chaos? Normally, we have to jump through hoops. Why do that when we see it's chaotic and we'll catch them slipping? So we sent them in there. And I mean, we normally wouldn't do that. But I did it just because I could get away with it. And the people laughed. That is how you repay our patriots. That's how you treat American citizens. That's how you try to entrap a president, set up a president, come up with some bogus claims, all because of what? I mean, you go ahead and say, well, we're about to close down the case or the open investigation against Michael Flynn. However, now that Trump won, how can we keep that going? Because see, we ain't found nothing on Michael Flynn. But then you have Sally Gates talking about some Logan Act that nobody ever got brought into charges on. I mean, you know, you bring that up and give them an excuse to keep listening to Michael Flynn. So they're like, well, yeah, we got to keep listening. And then you go over there, you set him up, get him to lie, or at least he didn't even know he was lying, and y'all didn't even think he was lying. But then Robert Mueller gets in the office and he says, how can we get him to talk? Now, you're trying to convince us with logical minds that this isn't a witch hunt, this ain't a setup. So now Robert Mueller comes in and he looks at that initial conversation. He says, well, you know what? He technically didn't tell the truth there. So we can get him on a perjury trap and then bring him in and then make him go through all of his life earnings trying to defend this garbage. And when he tap out and lose his house, then we'll even possibly threaten that we might even have to go after your son. I'm just saying, unless you just plead guilty to this, just so we can make it look like a whole bunch of people that Donald Trump surrounded himself with, we're getting indictments over. Yeah, look at all these indictments that have nothing to do with Trump. You know what I'm saying? We indicted some Russians who we'll never see again, ever. They're not coming here. We indicted Michael Flynn for a crime that we actually made him commit. He didn't commit it before the Trump won the office. We basically set him up. And then we got George Papadopoulos, who had nothing to do with Trump. We got Carter Page, nothing to do with Trump. We got Michael Cohen, nothing to do with Trump. We got Paul Manafort, nothing to do with Trump. All of these people, I mean, you think we're just indicting them for nothing? But don't worry about all the FBI agents that got fired, though. No, that's not important. See, because Robert Mueller is an upstanding prosecutor. He does it by the book. He only goes where the evidence, leads him. So he must be the worst deputy dog ever. His hound dog nose sucks. He ain't nothing but a hound dog. Crying all the time. That's all he is. He ain't never caught a criminal, and he ain't no friend of mine. That's right. He sucks. So if I can see it, if I can put together the pieces to this fake puzzle, this whole Russia collusion thing, you're telling me he can't? I mean, and I see it easily. I'm like, but here's the piece. Done, finish. If average people like me, and I'm sure people watching this video is saying, you can't see the obvious setup here. You cannot see that this is all a hoax and they're setting people up, ruining people's lives, and it's all in efforts to destroy the president. You can't see that? And you're trying to tell me Robert Mueller, who's supposed to be brilliant, he can't see it? You're telling me that the Democrats can't see it? Oh, they see it all right, because they're behind it. And you're telling me that some of the higher-ups in the Republican Party can't see it? Obviously, they couldn't, because they just let him run amok when they had power all through the DOJ. Just all through it. Have your way. Do whatever you want. Enjoy yourself. It's cool. And yeah, Paul Ryan, long as I got a couple guys looking into it on our side, I mean, we'll just keep them looking. But hey, keep me posted. But I'm not going to get all deeply involved in this. We don't want to really get to the bottom of this. We just want to let this ride out. And we sure enough know that the Democrats don't want to get to the bottom of it, because soon as they take power, what are they going to do? Shut it down. Shut it down. That's what they're going to do. And yet they're so worried about getting to the bottom of that pesky Russia collusion thing. Heard today, now they want to investigate all kind of other stuff about Donald Trump. We need to look into this too. And now we need to look into other people who donated to him when he was transitioning. Now we got to look in, all of this stuff. They're nosy on Trump's side. They're like, what's that? What you got? Let me see. Open that up. Let me get a look at that. But then all of this evidence, all of these nefarious characters, all of this conflict of interest on the Democrat side, and the people who ran interference for Hillary, the people who tried to set Trump up, and it's obvious, but we don't need to get to that. Let's shut all that down. That's who you're working with, guys. That's who you're working with. Anybody that voted Democrat, that's what you're putting in office. Corruption. They want us to vote them in office. Do you know if they're willing to do that to a president, what will they do to you? Now, you've been listening to Kevin and Michael Flynn, a decorated war hero, a general, 3-star general. If they did that to him, nobody is exempt. Everybody is expendable. Anyway, you're listening to Kevin from Kevin's Corner. That's why I say it's time to drain the swamp. I hope the president just step on the gas and run them all over. Just go ahead and expose them all. Declassify it all. I want to see it. Since they want to be nosy, I want to be nosy too. Anyway, check me out every Wednesday, 7:30 in Kevin's Corner. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, notification button. Check out Extreme Teas, my sponsor. They got Christmas specials going. If you put my name in as the promo, you get 20% off and you get free shipping and handling. Can't beat that. Everybody love free shipping. So check them out. If you want to donate to Kevin and Kevin's Corner, I appreciate that as well. The link is in the bottom. And we will see you next time in Kevin's Corner. God bless.